Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum. I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV.
And I'm Jacqueline Rixmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. We are excited once again to partner with Medina TV to bring you the 2023 Candidates Forum. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate this year.
Yes, and the views of those candidates are not necessarily those of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce or Medina TV.
Thank you for tuning in to watch our 2023 Candidates Forum. We appreciate your willingness to be informed about the upcoming election.
Joining us now in studio is Mike Kovack, the candidate for Clerk of Medina Municipal Court. Mike, thanks for joining us here today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, first, for those folks that may not know you, just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a native of Medina County here. I actually grew up in Wadsworth and graduated from there. Most people know me as the Medina County Auditor for the past 30 years. I do have 28 years of military service before that with the United States Navy. Very involved in the community. Very proud of that. Always been very community minded. I think I got that a lot from my father, and just very fortunate to have grown up, lived, and worked in a community like Medina County. So,
yeah, well, thank you for your service. What is the driving force that made you decide to run for this office?
Actually, I had a lot of people reach out to me about it. I think most people are aware that, as you said, what does the Clerk of Medina Municipal Courts do? And it's an administrative clerical position. But I had folks from both sides of the aisle reach out to me. They knew I was available. They've had a few problems there, and so they asked me to reach out and run. And I've always been drawn to a challenge or where I can put my talents to use, and I think this is one of those places.
Yeah. And you set me up perfectly for the next question. We did discuss before we went on there. We were just kind of exactly what does the Medina or the Clerk of the Medina Municipal Court do? So could you maybe inform the viewers here what exactly that role is?
Yeah, it's a clerical administrative job, and they do all the scheduling for the courts there. And municipal court typically handles, varies some on the cases, but cases less than 15,000. They've got a small claims court. $6,000 or less. All traffic fines come through there, and minor misdemeanors are run through the municipal courts in Ohio also. So, and again, I think I already mentioned it, they collect all the money for any fines. And so, again, as I said before, administrative clerical position, making sure that the trains run on time. So, anytime you have to deal with the courts, it's a stressful situation. So you hope you've got good customer service and efficiency there at the clerk's office.
What would you say is the biggest obstacle that would face the clerk in their office?
Well, there's a couple of things from my understanding. Is the first is that it has to be a customer service driven position. We always used to talk about at the auditor's office, like people may come to this office one time, and so keep that in mind. They don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what they're asking for. So make sure you carry them along and make sure you know what they're looking for when they come in. So customer service is the big thing, but the Clerk of Court's office also handles an awful lot of money, much less than we did at the auditor's office, but they handle a fair amount of money, and you have to make sure that all that's properly accounted for. You don't lose any money, and so those are two big things that go on there at the Clerk of Courts.
Now, what would you say is how important are the relationships, one with the judge and magistrates of the court, and two with the residents that have to go through the court?
Well, I've always said for any public service job, you've got to get along with the other folks there, and again, your job is to be a servant. So many people see it as you become a public official and you're above it, but really it was a leadership style that I developed in the Navy and have carried on. It's servant leadership, where you have to ask yourself every day, what am I doing for the other people? Tito Francona just went through that with the Guardians. He was just talking about that. Your job really is to make everyone else's job easier. And so that carries through to this office also.
Yeah. We're speaking with Mike Kovack, candidate for the Clerk of Medina Municipal Court. If elected to this position, what are some things that you would like to accomplish once you set foot in the office?
Well, again, it should be community centered, and actually, when you get into something, you oftentimes find ways to aid the community that you weren't aware of. A couple times at the auditor's office during the Great Recession, I mean, we had people whose houses were being foreclosed upon, and we actually, we went far outside the box and were able to draw down, I think, about $9 million in federal money to help people save their houses there. So again, you have to be there, first of all. The minimal thing is the office holder has to be there, because so many times the questions that come up and the problems that come up arise right then. It's not like get back to me next week. People are there and they have a question, so they have to be addressed. So those are the things that part of it. And also being involved in the community. Again, I've been involved in the community. I'll continue to be involved in the community and have been. But there are always opportunities where you can expose the constituents to what you do. And so that makes it easier for them to ask questions and to get answers. Whereas if, you're up in an ivy wall or you're not interacting with the people of the community, they're much less likely to know what you do. They're much more afraid. And they're much less likely to interact with your office and get the answers that they need.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, how do you deal with the people that would come through the office? Because some of them, it might be their worst day ever that they're in there.
Right.
Some of them, just because of the way our system is these days, they're going to be back, and you're going to see them multiple times and may not treat your office with the respect. And then others just might be lost again because it's their first time in there, and you probably won't see them again. But how do you handle that balance with your staff and those conversations with those residents?
Well, again, my philosophy always was and is that we work for those people coming through. I don't care what's going on. And again, there are levels at which you don't accept. I think I raised my voice to a customer twice in 30 years. There were memorable times. The employees still remember that. But the important thing is we work for those people who come through that. So, and once you have that mindset, it turns it, rather than I'm the government, I can do what I want, you so often see. And so, you treat everyone the same with courtesy. And again, the key is to finding out what they need. And oftentimes it may be their worst day, but, acts of kindness, acts of convenience can help them get through that and make the activity, the experience not as bad as it might have been.
And speaking of that experience, technology, ever changing. Are there aspects of the municipal court in the clerk side that might be open to new technologies, or what do you see there?
There always are, and like you say, the IT is advancing so rapidly. It's amazing. We were one of the first auditors' offices in the state, certainly at our size, to put the website up, and quite frankly, it was still a leading example when we left. But and the clerk's office does have the cases up electronically, but even notifications to attorneys. I've talked to a couple of attorneys where the notification process wasn't as good, and in this day and age, even the notification process or that they know, and reminders. I just got the reminder from the doctor's office, which I think we all do, and so the system is set up where all parties can be notified, and so there are things you can do not only in notification but also within the office. IT is built to do repetitive processes, and so a lot of what the clerk's office does are repetitive processes, and so I would think there is ample opportunity to bring IT to bear on what goes on there.
Great. Again, we're speaking with Mike Kovack, candidate for the Clerk of Medina Municipal Court. And then, Mike, I want to thank you for taking time to answer my questions. But I want to give you the opportunity, in case there's anything I missed or anything you'd like to tell the voters directly. The floor is yours.
Well, I appreciate you tuning in today to find out a little bit about what's going on and about me. My name is Mike Kovack. I have the experience and I have produced the results to prove that I have the capability to be a tremendous public servant to you. The different leadership aspects that I've been able to go through in the Navy and in the auditor's office and as a small businessman, as an educator, I can bring all those to bear to help make the Medina Municipal Clerk's office a servant to the people of Medina County, and I certainly would appreciate your vote on November 7th.
Again, Mike Kovack, candidate for the Clerk of Medina Municipal Court. I want to thank you for your time today, and I wish you the best of luck this November.
I appreciate it, Jared. Thank you.